This is Joe Pugh for IFLTV. We're here in Dublin, joined by the WBA World Super Featherweight Champion, Jazza Dickens. You tired of hearing that one yet?
It sounds nice, doesn't it? But yeah, of the universe, I like. Champion of the universe. Sounds better, doesn't it?
Well, you are technically champion of the universe, so just change that world title to universe champion. This is a little bit of a change to what you thought was going to happen in the back end of 2025, going into 2026. But as far as outcomes that were possible when Saudi got pulled up from under your feet a week before, this is an ideal scenario, right?
Couldn't get any better in terms of venue and who it's going to be against. I thank you so to my team. I thank them so much who made it happen because it's my dream come true. You know, it's like a homecoming to me. I was here, I was living here. I love the people of Ireland. I've sold so many tickets. Got a huge following in Ireland, which I didn't even know. So yeah, I'm very, very grateful.
Before we talk about this card, I want to actually go back to Manchester last year. Zelfa Barrett. Many people wrote you off going into that fight, and from the outside looking in, that looks like the ultimate turning point where I think people would potentially be forgiven for saying Jazza might not be the fighter he once was from the outside looking in, but you proved that night, then obviously what happened in Turkey, that you're better than you've ever been, Jazza.
I think I am, yeah. Well, the evidence shows that, doesn't it? You know what I mean? You know how you're getting on because you see yourself in the gym and how you're performing in the gym. That never stopped. I got knocked out in Dubai when I headlined for the IBO World title. I got knocked out and that's when people thought it was finished. So, fucking hell, take a breath. People thought it was finished, so it was one of them. That was on people. That was people's mistake. They made that, you know. And when we say we go back to the Zelfa Barrett fight, Zelfa Barrett's a really good fighter and he's fighting for the IBO World title now, isn't he? But that was bad matchmaking, that. Really, really bad, evidently. But it was bad matchmaking. I think that promoters, they should be doing the job properly, matching fighters with the right. They just thought I was done. You can't just assume a fighter's done, you know. You've got to match your fighters properly, and I think it was bad matching on Zelfa Barrett's behalf. He had a world title plan for him against Ray Ford, even before that fight was announced, and he was just there to knock me out, but I wasn't going to be knocked out, you know. I was working my ass off every single day in the meantime, so yeah. I'd like to see it go back to the way it was. We used to have old matchmakers. Some people do a great job still, but I think a lot of fighters are getting rushed. We only seen like, oh my god, the names escape me. Pat. Twins? The twins.
Pat McCormack.
You know what I mean? I'm not going to take nothing away from his opponent because he was brilliant. He was absolutely brilliant. It was a great fight. But bad matchmaking, you know what I mean? Fighters are getting pushed too fast.
Yeah, look, I think anybody who knew boxing, properly knew boxing, knew going into that Zelfa fight, it was a proper fight. But I think everyone was shocked by the way you beat Zelfa Barrett that night. And that really was the springboard for you, right?
Okay, well, I don't know because I haven't watched it back, but I do remember the...
You've not watched that fight back?
No, I've never seen that fight, no. But the betting office was 5-1, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The bookies were 5-1 and then 6-1 for the Cacace fight.
So, is that something you don't do? You just don't watch the fights back, or is it just that one particular one, or is it just...
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, you know.
So laid back, Jazza.
When you've got 3 kids, lad, you get home and you don't get a time, you don't get a minute to yourself, you know what I mean? Dad do this, Dad do that. You're not watching fights, you know.
Did you think at any point in your career, maybe in Dubai when you got knocked out, that world title may have just crept away from you, or was it always a case of, no, I know what I can do and I will get there?
Yeah, I knew that, you know, and I had a conversation with my dad that night. It was like, this is bad to say this, but I felt like I was above him, and I got proved that I weren't because he ended up under his fucking feet, didn't I? He buried me, and I said to my dad, like, losing to him, what am I doing losing to him? And that's bad, that as a fighter, you should never think that. And I learned a lesson that night, you know what I mean? But I just know I can go forward and I'll get where I want to be. But what I got mostly out of that was the Lord showed me that I can take you from the very bottom and being a nobody, and you're done and you're finished and no one cares, to being top of the world.
Then let's talk about Turkey. One of my favourite nights in boxing. Genuinely, like, it was literally like Team Jazza Dickens slides into Istanbul under the radar. People a lot of people in the UK didn't even know you were fighting, to be quite honest, that weekend. I don't know whether that's something you like or not, but you go in there, snatch a win from, again, another home favourite from the promoter, and really has put you into this position where we're sitting in Dublin talking about what will be the biggest fight of your career.
Possibly biggest fight of my career, yeah, in terms of like events. Like, we know each other, the fans know we know each other. It's like, it's going to be enclosed in it, a lot of scousers, a lot of parties. It's going to be an amazing event. So yeah, possibly the biggest night in my career, and it's the defence of my world title for the first time. So that's amazing. But it was like, over there in Turkey, it was a good night because we were the underdog, and people were just like, sort of, we were there to lose, you know what I mean? Same with the Barra fight, we were just there to lose, and like, we were given no credit at all, and it was almost like we were cheeky bastards for winning, you know what I mean?
Do you feel like, well, obviously you are the A-side, you're the world champion, but you are coming to Dublin. I know Anto's Northern Irish, but there will be a hell of a lot of fans for Anto, not to take away the Scousers, I'm assuming, will be travelling over for you. But once again, you are in the champions' semi-backyard with Anto Cacace.
Yeah, sort of, yeah, because he is Irish, isn't he? I've got a massive fan base here in Ireland and in Liverpool, so there's going to be both cheering for me, you know what I mean? I know they'll be aired as well, the Scousers. And I don't think the Irish see us as English, they see us as sort of like with separate, you know, Scousers are different to Irish, to English, and that's how they see us, you know, like, because I've lived here with them. And so yeah, it's going to be one big party.
This is from the outside looking in. Obviously, I'm not Irish or Scouse, proud Essex man. But it feels like, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but Scousers are more Irish than English with the allegiance that goes on there.
Yeah, well, my ancestors are Irish. Yeah. Everyone's ancestors where I'm from, the community where I'm from, by the docks. Jordan family, they all came to live in Liverpool. They got off the boat in Liverpool, and they had kids who had me, and my generation, you know what I mean? And that's just the way we are. Until I came to Ireland to live here and to box here, I didn't understand why we, as Scousers, were the way we were. So it's a bit like, we're like Celtic people in Liverpool, because we've got a mixture of Wales, Ireland, and other countries too.
What have you made of Anto Cacace's run over the last 18 months, from Joe Cordina to Josh Warrington to Lee Wood?
Phenomenal. I can't think of a run better. British fighters who he's beat. It's amazing, really. It's mad, isn't it? You think about it. If you said a few years ago, Anto Cacace, there's a kid in Ireland there who's going to beat all them names, Cordina, Warrington and Wood, you say no chance, wouldn't you? Especially with the form that they were in. So yeah, I think he's a true champion, and he's worked for everything that he's got.
No one can dispute, especially from the fight in Istanbul, that you are and deserve that world title that's currently around your waist. But will this be that moment of recognition on March 14th where it does cement you as a world champion, and you're defending it against a proper, well, he never lost his world title in the ring?
No, yeah, well, we knew going into that fight, Lamont Roach is never going to fight for this title again. Albert Betigasia was taking a huge risk. What did he think of me? Did he think I was just going to roll over? Because he was in line to be world champion now. If I didn't fight him, you know what I mean? He could have just waited out, but he just always got an easy one with Jazza. I think that's what he thought. Must have been, mustn't it? So it's like, they dropped the ball once again, not matchmaking there properly, didn't matchmake, didn't do the job. And now, what was the question? Fucking punched him, come here, lad. You can decide that, Betigasia. What was the question?
No, I was asking about Anto Cacace and the fact that you beat him on Gary Cully there. You beat him on March 14th, and it kind of cements yourself, maybe not in your eyes, but wider public, that you are a real world champion who's defended that title in the ring.
Sorry, lad, that was the point that I was getting to. We knew we were going to be upgraded, so I've been world champion in my mind for 6 months. It was only recently when you get an email champion, you're an email champ. So no, 6 months ago I knew I was world champion, and we knew going into that fight, whoever wins this will be elevated. So I don't know. I feel like world champion because I am world champion.
You are a world champion, no, a universe.
Tell me I'm not.
I don't think anyone will be going around saying Jazza Dickens isn't a world champion, certainly to your face, because it wouldn't end well.
No, the fucking ruthless on that Twitter, lad.
Two more. Just talk about the highs and lows of boxing. I know you've experienced it throughout your career, but just in the last 3 months, you've gone from the high of getting that world title to the low of coming off that Riyadh card to the high of headlining at Free Arena. It's a roller coaster, isn't it, boxing?
I suppose that's just life, innit? Boxing's a little version of life, innit? And it's like, it's I don't know, there's been other things that have been happening in my life outside the ring, you know, not things that aren't seen as very positive things, been at hard times, but it's just life, innit? Crack on, get on with it, no one's asked, just do what you got to do, innit?
Last one, what happens in the ring? You and Cacace, March 14th, Free Arena, Paddy's weekend.
Jazza, Dickens and still.
Jazza, best of luck, mate. Enjoy the presser. There's going to be no back and forth for you and Anto today, is there?
Who knows? You never know, do you? Boxing's so unpredictable. No, they won't. Got too much respect for him for that bollocks, you know.
King of Twitter. You leave that shit on Twitter.
Yeah, go home. Be dead respectful to his face and go home and say something bad about him on Twitter tonight.
Jazza, thank you, mate. Cheers.